How's it going, YouTube land? Today we bring you another video called F Juggling, and what does it mean? We're gonna start with like the chronological like timeline of my own experience with juggling. Um, so in 2010, we'll start with 2010. 2010, about like 12 years ago, I attended my first fire drums, and I got to meet Valery Imus, who's from France, and he's like a club juggler. But it was my first time seeing club fishtails, which are like a movement of like contact juggling clubs and on the back of your hand. I remember watching it, it was like so mesmerizing. I didn't really know what was going on. But I remember that I wanted to buy some clubs and try to do them myself. And I also saw him like doing club swinging. This is still cleanest in the game. Like, I mean, really beautiful stuff. This video is about like 10 years old. And yeah, so after that I picked up two clubs, and I started like learn how to like do club fishtails and club swinging uh, for about like 2 years. I didn't own my third club till much later. So everywhere I went, people would ask me like, "Oh, what's your third club?" And I was like, I didn't really have a third club. All I wanted to do was to learn club swinging and like manipulation and like fishtails. But also like once you learn how to do club swinging, uh, it is very beautiful when it's done on fire. The optical illusion that it creates, very mesmerizing. It looks like poi, but you can make like very clean lines and play with like the physics and the speed of of the thing. And so from then I had two clubs for about like 2 years. I was practicing two clubs for 2 years before I met Keith Marshall. Keith Marshall is from Scotland. He came to the United States a couple times, and he was kind of like popular for his like poi. He was doing like double poi fishtails at the time, 2011. And after he came to the States, I realized that he's an amazing club juggler. The club juggling that he does is very like asymmetrical. It doesn't have like a symmetrical shape. It's very sporadic. It's very abstract. A lot of play and movement, and that was kind of like the moment that I picked up my third club after watching him. I asked him basically where did he learn that particular club juggling style, and a lot of it he said it came from Sam Yude, who is from Bristol, and so therefore also around the same time, the visual juggling project by Matt Lely was starting to becoming a thing on the internet, on the YouTubes, and that's how I found out about Bach. Bach is also a French juggler, uh, very high level, very beautiful, very technical, flowy. And so once I saw video of Bach and found out about Sam, I was ready to make my way to Europe and to learn more about this particular style of juggling that didn't really exist anywhere at that time. Yeah, and also in 2012, like a lot of like the poi spinners at that time, a lot of us turned club jugglers. The reason is because with three poi versus like three clubs, three poi is way harder. It's very high difficulty, and three clubs is easier. So if you move from two props to three props, it it, it, it's like a give or take kind of thing. You can do three poi, the reward is super high, the level is like very difficult, or you can do three clubs and be able to maneuver the props a little bit easier and being able to like explore maybe new variations and stuff like that. And then so I made my way to Europe in 2013, and the EJC, which is the European Juggling Convention, the biggest, I guess, prop convention in the world. It moves around Europe every year. And in 2013, it was in Europe. It was in France, and it was my first time in Europe. And there were like thousands of people from like 50 countries for like 10 days. This stuff that I saw there, um, is truly one of a kind. It until today. I mean, it still like burns in my memory. That EJC, people from Mexico, Argentina, South America, Italy, Asia, United States, from all different parts of the world were there. Um, Kind of like the Olympics of prop manipulation, you could say, juggling. And there, I met other like really high level people as well, like Mikel Ayala, like one of like my favorite juggler. I went to Europe. This is like a small extract of his show that is available online. Very graceful, very beautiful club juggler legend from from Spain, but he lives in France and Ayala. And so let's talk about the word flow juggling in America, particularly. Um, so everybody knows about traditional juggling. So traditional juggling basically is like you do three and then you do four, toss juggling 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, and you are kind of like more of the master of the prop. You move the prop to your liking, right? That's traditional juggling. And I think this particular style of juggling, like for me, I think it comes from France because the French culture, the performance aspect of like their life, like influence the exploration of the juggling. Go to France, you go to the French convention, there's a lot of people that they do numbers and traditional juggling, but there's a lot of people that explore more like the fluid and more like the anti spins and the contact juggling combined with minimal props instead of like pushing like higher and higher. And that is like a very beautiful juggling that I kind of like love the most. And but after I came back and I started like practicing this particular style of juggling, uh I would go to these like American juggling conventions, and a lot of these people at the juggling conventions would say, "Oh, um, that flow thing you do." So they would say that flow thing you do, and I know they were like complimenting me by my style of juggling, but I felt like when I was in Europe, nobody would separate me and say that flow juggling. They just say, "Oh, I like your style. I like your juggling." That's it. End of a sentence. But in America, there it feels like it was needed to be voiced out that you're a flow juggler. And yeah, and I don't care now, but it's just an interesting concept, depending on where you are, I guess, depending on the language, um because like places in Europe is this juggling, is this juggling with different styles. And but yeah, so that's why I want to make this video talking about like my experience with this particular style of juggling that I love. But I titled the video F juggling, French juggling or flow juggling, I don't know, whatever you call it. But yeah, I want to make a short video talking about this, and I hope you like all the content I've been making out, putting out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I hang on Discord a lot. I stream on Twitch. Check out the links at the bottom in the description. Please, if you like this video, please like, comment, share. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll be making more of these videos soon too as well. Have a good one. Take it easy.